people who have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light.
And one of the substances that produced the melanin, of course, was the inner eye, or what we call the third eye, or what the Europeans call the pineal gland, which is in the center of the brain. And the pineal gland produces a hormone that goes on to produce the melanin. And this is why I wrote this chart up here. Melanogenesis, the beginning of melanin. The beginning of melanin, or the manufacture of melanin, actually starts with Ra, with the sun. And then the rays of the sun go on to hit our eyes, especially the pupils or the darker parts of our eyes. When the rays of the sun hits our eyes, brothers and sisters, it stimulates our eyes, and those rays go to the center of the brain by way of a pathway, which they call the neural pathway. On this neural pathway, it leads to the center of the brain, to a tiny group of nerve cells.
So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world, really, in Native America, right? And all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted. Not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light, they were guardians of certain lands. It's what's underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil, but it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals, and whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of Mother Earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors. They had melanin. They were able to hold the light, and they had specific codes, which were protectors of certain lands. But that's why, if you want to say, Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing, but no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land.
Now, melanin is commonly associated with your color of your skin, and that's what gives your skin its color. We call that pigment, melanin. But it's also in your nervous system, which causes you to transmit information faster and to store more information than any other race. And it's also in your bones, which cause you to retain more minerals than any other race. And of course, it's in your muscles that cause you to have what we call fast twitch reaction. You have a faster reaction time. And you have more vitamins and minerals in your muscles than any other race. Melanin is also in your eyes that cause you to absorb more color than any other race. And of course, it's in your ears, and you absorb more sound. So you will see colors differently than anybody else, and you will hear differently. So therefore, your music will always be different. You always put together colors differently. Melanin is in your taste buds, which cause you to have the ability to taste the full flavor of the food. You absorb more taste. So you always combine your food differently, and you eat somebody else's food and say that's bland or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying. That's because they don't have the ability to taste the full flavor of food like you do. The melanin causes you to have this ability. It's what we call the biochemical marker of life. The more melanin you have, the more civilized you are. The more melanin you have, the more psychic you are, the more... You see what I'm saying? I'm saying the more melanin you have, the more human you are. And that is what we're talking about. We're talking about how to understand this unique ability to be human, to be melanated, and how to sustain it. The problem with this melanin is that all drugs work by destroying melanin. It's not a drug unless it can destroy melanin in some way. It has to speed it up, slow it down, or destroy it. But they use different terms when they talk about melanin. They won't say melanin, they may say melatonin, which is made from melanin. Or they may say serotonin, which is made from melanin. These are hormones that are made from melanin. So you read in the literature, it says melatonin or serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Those alchemical terms that say it stops your body from using melatonin, which is made from melanin, which means it stops your body from using melanin. And we simply use these big old awkward terms, and we say it's melatonin reuptake or serotonin reuptake inhibitor. The problem with science is it's a very crude way to explain something. That's the problem with science. It's very crude. You can arrive at truth quicker with your spirituality than you can with some science. I'll be clear on that. Science is a very awkward and crude way to explain something because you have all these dumb formulas and stuff to move around, and then you got to use this foreign language, Latin, and all this kind of stuff that we get into. Then when we try to explain something to you, we wonder why you don't understand. Because it's a very crude way to explain things. But don't get lost in this jargon of science that I may use. Just simply remember that you cannot have science without culture. Culture precedes everything. It precedes everything. You can't have science without culture. You can't have biology without culture. You can't have a relationship without culture. You don't know the words to use. People are classified by their culture. We call it gender. So you have a sex, male and female, but gender says that men have short hair, women have long hair, women wear a dress, men wear pants. That's what we call gender. So gender helps you to even see the other sex. You can't relate to them without this gender stuff. Men are supposed to do this. Women are supposed to do that. That has nothing to do with nature. That's just gender. And gender you get from your culture. Your culture allows you to see each other, to hear each other, and to relate to each other. And culture is a combination of how you are chemically. So you would always have a different culture because your chemicals in your body are different because of the melanin. We're back to the melanin again, which times how you grow. It tells you, your body say, now you're supposed to be a teenager. Now you're supposed to have pubic hair. Melanin does that. It times just the cycles in your life. So when you mess with that melanin, you're messing with a lot of stuff there. You're messing with the cycles of the person, the rhythmicity of their body. You're messing with the digestive system, the reproductive system. You're messing with that melanin because that's the biochemical key to life. That's how you measure the age of a mummy. That's how we measure the age of your brain, how much melatonin is in it. It's the chemical key, but we don't use this word too much in science, probably because it will lead to black people. So we don't want to lead any information to black people because we want to establish that black people are dumb. So if you start using this word melanin, you can say, well, who has the most melanin? What are we talking about here? So every time they have a melanin conference in the world, which is every 3 years, the Germans come, the Italians come, the U.S. comes, the Canadians come, but no one black is ever invited or has ever attended the melanin conference. And that's done on purpose.
Now, that sums it up for this video. What do you guys think? Share thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Let's have a proper discussion about this without having me impose my opinions and ideas on this matter. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it so that the YouTube algorithm can know that this video was so much interesting and share it far wide to more avid viewers just like you. Subscribe and click the notification bell if this is your first time watching these videos, and so that you can be notified as soon as we make a new upload on videos just like this. My name is Louis. Until next time, peace out.